I call the Wise County Board of Supervisor meeting to order on Thursday, March the 8th, 2018 at 6 p.m. at the School Board Education Center, our regular meeting. Roll call, please.
Mr. Lunsford. Here. Hansel. Here. Mr. Bates. Here. Mr. Atkins.
Here.
Mr. Rivers.
Here.
Mr. Schoolcraft.
Here.
Vice Chairman Robbins.
Here.
Chairman Kilgore.
Here. Mr. Atkins, would you lead us in the prayer? And Robbie, would you do the pledge?
Thank you for standing, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bow together. Gracious Lord, we thank you for the beauty and glory of this marvelous day, and we thank you for every blessing that you send our way. We're grateful to you, Lord, for opportunity that you allow each of us to serve our community. And we just ask, Lord, that you be with us this evening. May all that we say and everything we do meet with your approval. And we ask this in the Son's holy name. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the next, I need a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
That was Schoolcraft, right? Okay. Any discussion of the minutes? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. The minutes have been approved. The next is the approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve with the additions.
Do I have a second?
I will second, Madam Chair.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. The next is road and highways. Anything for roads and highways?
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
I'll just add that I believe it was last month I asked for VDOT to give us a report on the roundabout at Union High School, and they did respond back. Board members, I know that it's in our package, their response to us, but basically they said for the first 8 months the roundabout had had no reportable accidents. And then Ms. Carrico, one of the teachers that was involved, sent us a survey that she had done, which showed a lot of positive comments.
Everybody liked it, didn't they?
They're not initially, but it's working well. So I just wanted to give that report. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Any other comments for road and highways? Okay. The next thing is a public hearing, and we do not have any public hearings tonight. And so the next thing is a presentation, Mountain Empire Community College, and Christina Westover. There she is. I couldn't see you.
Well, I'm not sure this is a presentation, but thank you
Okay.
for inviting me. Just going to give you a brief update on, we're actually already in the middle of the semester for the spring. I was going to give you an update on our fall enrollment. We continue, yearly we have about 1,550 students from Wise County. Our enrollment this year, or this last semester, was down about 1% in full-time enrollment. We were in head count, we were down a little bit more than that. We were down about 8% in head count, about 2% down for Wise County. We're closing out our second cohort of our new lineman program. I just wanted to give you a little bit of data on our first cohort. Our first cohort of the lineman program, the power lineman program, had 14 students. 10 of them received their NCCER Power Lineman 1 certification. 3 received a CDL. All 14 were employed within the first month. So that's a great thing, a good pathway to a job, a well-paying job. We've got 19 enrolled in our second cohort right now, and our third cohort, for anyone who's interested, begins in April. So that's coming right up, and the entry requirements for that are not too stiff. So if anyone's interested in the power lineman program, just contact the college. The college was also awarded, we were notified in the fall that we were one of the Aspen Institute top 150 colleges in the nation, and that's quite an honor just to be in the top 150. What happens is they announce that based on your performance metrics, and those performance metrics are around how well our students do after they graduate in terms of their labor market outcomes, how well they complete, how well they transfer from our college to a university and then go on to achieve their bachelor's degree. And we, as a college, have some of the highest rates in the nation in our transfer and in our completion, in our program completion. So we were invited to apply for the Aspen Award. The Aspen Award is a $1 million award that's given to one college every 2 years. And out of the 150 that are in the top 150, about 100 of those actually apply. 50 of them recognize that their metrics might not be strong enough to actually do the application. So out of those 100 that apply, 50 are called back for further investigation. They do an interview with the college team. We went through that interview, so we are sort of in the top 50, but there's really no designation for the top 50. But based on that, then they'll select the top 10 and they'll come to the college and look at the metrics, interview students, look at everything that we do, and then hopefully we'll win $1 million prize. I'm not holding my breath on that one, but it's a real honor just to be in the top 150, and I just wanted to share that because that really speaks volumes about the hard work that our employees at the college and our faculty do. It speaks a whole lot. Last time I came and spoke with you, it was all about me, and I'd really like to make this one all about the college. So it really is an honor for the college to be recognized in that way. Our cybersecurity program and our unmanned aerial vehicles, particularly our drones, those programs continue to have strong enrollment. All of our healthcare programs continue to have very strong enrollment. And then, of course, our transfer rates are some of the highest, not just in the state, but in the nation. And one thing that we're really proud of is the Virginia Community College system has a goal to triple the number of credentials that students earn by the year 2021, and Mountain Empire Community College is the only college that has tripled their credentials by this year. So we are the only college in the Virginia Community College system that's been able to do that to this point, and we hope to keep that up, and by the year 2021 just exceed the tripling credentials and blow everyone else out of the water. So we're excited about that. Those credentials, those industry recognized credentials, help students enter the labor market. They give them the ability to have the soft skills sometimes and the workplace skills that they need in order to be successful in the workplace. Of course, our transfer programs are very strong, and we're doing great things at the college. So I just came to share those things and make sure that you all know that the contributions that you make really do support us and really help us. I don't know if I had a chance to talk to you after Homecraft Days, but Homecraft Days was a huge success this year. In fact, we're having to upgrade some of our electrical outlets out in the parking lot and do some upgrades to some of our parking in order to accommodate that next year, and hopefully it'll be even bigger. So if anyone has any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them.
Does the board have any questions or any comments?
All right.
Thank you for all the good work you do.
Marvelous job.
Thank you, and thank you for all that you all do for us.
Comments. I think the college can be very proud of some of these accomplishments that you've listed this evening. I don't think that a lot of people realize that, and it's really good to get the word out.
You bet. Thank you, John. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I think we all recognize that the college is a economic driver in the region, that, you know, your training that will put people to work and create income, and hopefully will be able to stay in Wise County. And everyone you train, it adds to our county and their well-being, and also the county. So we appreciate it.
Thank you. And we, we work actively with VCTA, with economic development partners in the area. In fact, the Lee County announcement today, we'll be doing the training for those folks with England Furniture. So it's exciting. Hopefully we can bring some more to the region, more to Wise County. Mm-hmm. And we are working on some projects right now, so hopefully there'll be some announcements on those soon. So, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. The next is the Pro Art activity update.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thanks for inviting me tonight as well. So, my name is Jan Zettmeyer, and I'm the relatively new Executive Director of the Pro Art Association. I know a lot of you from other different roles, but Bonnie Losser decided to make her second or third or fourth retirement last summer, and I had been on the Pro Art Board since like 2001, so I saw it as an opportunity to really give back to the community, and so it's been a challenging 8 months, to say the least, but I've learned a lot. And so I wanted to come tonight at a couple things, update you on what we're doing, but also this is a critical time as far as the local government challenge grants. And so I've laid on your desk there a copy of a letter that I was going to leave with you, and I'll just share some of the highlights of that if I could. So it's Wise County Board of Supervisors, thank you so much for your opportunity to speak tonight. We requestfully ask that you consider this request to support the Pro Art Association and the Wise Jams program for the 2018-19 season. Under the Local Government Challenge Grant, the Virginia Commission for the Arts will match your contribution up to $4,500 this year. Although the maximum match has been reduced from last year, Pro Art appreciates your support. Without your help, Pro Art simply could not bring the programs we do to the schools and community or operate the after-school Wise Jams music program. For many years, the VCA match has been capped at $5,000. And because we could experience cuts from all localities that support Pro Art through the local government's challenge grants, we were asking that you maintain the county's contribution at the same level as the last fiscal year. And I know this may be difficult, but if we take 6 or 7 hits, it's gonna really hurt. So any help you could give us in that regard would be great. And this will help Wise Jams and Pro Art proceed without making any cuts. The deadline to apply is April 2nd. And if you haven't finished your budget, which I know you will not, we may apply conditionally and confirm the funding by July the 1st. Matching funds must be requested by the deadline, and I'll be glad to work with the county staff in any way I can to complete the application. So your support allows us to bring top quality arts performances and music education in Wise County. We appreciate your time and efforts very much. I know that that you have done a lot for Wise County community, students, and Pro Art, and I guess I'm asking you to do a little bit more at this point. So the second and third pages of your attachment are some photographs that our staff took at some of the school shows we held in November. This was a pretty special week for me. In the first, we'd had performances and whatever, but the week of November 6th last year, we did 9 school shows, and I'm not even sure, it's 5,000 or 6,000 students over the course of those 6 days. And there's some photographs. The last large photograph on the bottom of the second page there is of the Union High School auditorium, and that's, to me, particularly significant because this is the first year we've ever taken a program to Union High School. And so we had kind of they actually, I think, walked some over, bus them over, but Wise County Union Primary and Union Middle School came over. We filled that auditorium twice. There were 1,500 Big Stone Gap children in that auditorium for the Christmas play. And it was a wonderful experience for them and me. I'll take some of the joy that went with that day. It was really nice. Let's see. I wanted to remind you of a couple shows we have coming up this season. We're getting short on our season, but there are 2 especially important ones I wanted to mention. Mark your calendars for Friday, March 16th. That's not this Friday, but next Friday. Montana Repertory Theater is bringing on Golden Pond. And this is going to be a special one. It's a big production company. They're very, very talented. And they're going to have a new artistic manager next year, so they will not be touring in 2019. So this is your last chance to see them for a couple of years, and they always do a wonderful job. The second one is Saturday, April the 28th, and this is a first time for us. The Virginia National Ballet from Northern Virginia is coming. It's a big company. It's a big show. And it's not all straight ballet. The second, the longer number after the intermission is going to be done to Bohemian Rhapsody. So all you rockers out there, come on out and help us enjoy welcome the Virginia National Ballet. And if you'll bear with me just a minute, I wanted to mention some of the shows we're looking at for next season, 2018-19. We haven't signed any contracts yet, but there's some really exciting things on there. And I'll just skim through this really quickly. We'll get a calendar out when we finalize these programs. But Barbara Dixon, who's a very famous Scottish guitarist, will be back in July. We know that's not the best scheduling, but that's when she's going to be here. So she'll be here in July. The Symphony at the Lake, do mark your calendars for this one. That is set in stone, July 28th at the lake at UVA Wise. The symphony will be back. American Shakespeare Spanner, we've had them back. Actually, we've opened their season last couple years. They'll be at the Black Box Theater at UVA Wise. Usually those shows are sellouts, so that'll be in September. Dave Eggar will be back for the concert with Lead Virginia in September at the Black Box Theater. We'll be co-sponsoring Big Stone Gap Celtic concert on Friday night and Home Crafts Days. We've got a really exciting artist. We've almost got him signed on yet for that, a favorite of our area. Two that I think are interesting in their local significance, and then one will be in the fall, one will be in the spring, I hope. Peter Ryan, that currently teaches at UVA Wise, and David Volk, that used to teach at UVA Wise, he's now at Colorado State University in Pueblo, Colorado, are going to be doing classical concerts with quartets or trios, as the case may be. And so we're anxious to host those two for the first time. Lots of school shows, certainly with Barter Theater. We know what they're going to be doing. We just haven't set dates on that. But actually, Wise County Schools this year asked us when we scheduled the Christmas show, Marcia Short said, gosh, we sure would love to have another one or two, and we did. We added two more, so instead of having only two, we had four for Wise County students, and we got over 3,000 students in at those shows. So we'll work on that very hard. Those will probably be in November. We'll do a Christmas show, not set yet. A U.S. military band, we hope. And the other one I want to mention that I'm excited about is if you know Eugene Wolfe. Eugene Wolfe played A.P. Carter in the Keep on the Sunny Side performance that the Barter Theater did a number of times. He's written a one-man show about his grandmother, and it's music and storytelling, whatever, and we hope to get Eugene Wolfe next spring also. I'm really excited about that. So that's all I've got right now. If you got any questions, don't hesitate to call the office or drop me an email, and of course now I'll be taking any questions you have also. So.
Any questions or any
Madam Chair.
comments? Yes.
To both of you, Dave, is it customary for the county to fill out that application?
They assist us every year in
Okay.
filling out the application. We've already discussed that.
Yep.
And it's a customary always, because we don't have the budget approved, to go ahead and apply for preliminary funding, and then I have to certify that the budget is approved
Right.
for that money come July 1st.
So I guess both of you know that it's only an online application this year.
Yes.
Yep, I've actually already had to do one for our general operating support, and it was due March the 1st, but this is due April the 1st, and it is only online this year. That's correct.
But they've always assisted us with that, Mr. Lunsford, for
Thank you.
the application, so.
We'll do whatever you need, so.
Just a comment, Madam Chair?
Yes.
Anybody that missed the presentation of the Brass Five on Monday
Monday night,
you really missed something out of your past. Me being the oldest one in the group, I guess. But those things, they just meant so much to me. I just
Yep.
sat there and absorbed that and remembered when,
Yep.
and it was wonderful. So.
They're coming back. They did two school performances. I'm trying to think how we did it. We were at J.W. Adams in the morning, had the entire J.W. Adams school population there, more than 500 children. We took it to Union High in the afternoon. That was the third performance we'd done at Union High. We had all the band and all the choral students from the middle school and the high school there, and a few others that we were happy to have. They're coming back in later in March and in April for a performance at Lee Theater. Yep, Lee Theater and in Dickinson County. So we can't get enough of Brass Five.
Well, thank you.
You bet.
Good job and good choice.
Okay, thank
great.
you. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it.
Any other comments?
Jan, thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
We're fortunate to have a pro art in this area. Keep up the good work.
Okay, thanks,
Thank
Jade.
you.
Any other
Appreciate it.
comment?
Yes.
Yes.
My son Johnny and I were fortunate enough to see the U.S. Navy Country Current Group
Yes,
out at Pound. Outstanding.
yes.
If you and Dr. Westover could kind of work together and put that together for Home Craft Days, I think it would be very fitting.
The military, you're right. The military bands, we kind of have to take them when they're going to be in the area. And so actually this year was in August, which we've never had an August performance in my memory ever. But that's when they were going to be close by, and that's when we scheduled it. And so, but yeah, that would be a great addition. We'll see what, I don't have any idea which military group it'll be or when it'll be yet, but that we'll certainly try and make it at a convenient time. Well, I will mention one other little thing. I went to a meeting about 2 weeks ago in Richmond at the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts, and some of you may remember they used to have a thing called the Art Mobile. Well, they're resurrecting it. It's going to be called VMFA on the Road, and they're bringing it back, and they're very excited about coming down here, and we're going to try and schedule with some sort of a festival. Jeffrey Allison, who speaks here at UVA Wise occasionally, said, I want food vendors, music, whatever, to be available at the same time that this semi truck with the music, with the art exhibits. It's, original art pieces coming down from VMFA, and I think that'll be more like a fall thing, but it could even be fall 2019, but they're working on that. It's supposed to roll out anytime now. They're very excited.
Any other comment? Well, thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, the next is the energy performance contact that we have here from DMME Division of Energy. Nick. All right.
Good evening. Thank you all for allowing me to come this evening. I'm going to be talking a little bit about our energy performance contracting program. All right, can you hear me now? About our energy performance contracting program. And we've been talking with Mr. Cox about this, but I'm going to cover this, and some of you all may be familiar with this. There have been some projects done in Wise County before, but I'm going to cover it and then answer any questions you all might have, and then potential opportunities in Wise County. See if. All right, so energy performance contracting, this is a state program, but it is not uncommon. Most states in the U.S. have a state energy performance contracting program. There is also a federal energy performance contracting program that federal agencies are required to use. In the state of Virginia, any state agency that wants to do an energy performance contract is required to use our program, and that's in the Code of Virginia, and that's at the governor's directive. This program was established. We began doing projects in 2004, 2005, so it's been going on for about 13 years, and the latest contract was just approved in November. So that's the latest iteration. And what performance contracting is designed to do is designed to be a budget neutral financing vehicle. So you take the saving dollars from your energy upgrades and whatever facilities you may be considering doing a project in, and you apply those savings to the cost of the project. And so that's why it's called budget neutral, because you're reallocating existing dollars. So what we generally tell folks is if you're spending money on a utility bill, you might already be paying for an energy performance contracting project. These are guaranteed energy savings. So when an energy service company, they're called an ESCO, and I'll show you the list of ESCOs that are pre-qualified to enter into these contracts in Virginia. When an ESCO does a project, those savings are guaranteed. So they have to guarantee the savings and they're bonded. If they ever do not meet those savings, the ESCO, the contractor, has to pay for the difference. So whatever the shortfall was, they have to pay for that shortfall. And then they have to determine what was the cause of the shortfall and fix it at their own expense, not at the customer's expense. Oh, wrong way. This is the state contract number. This is available on the virginiaeva.gov website. So this is available to the public. That's our contract number. And you can't read the fine print there of the contractors, but I'll cover that in a separate slide. State agencies, again, are required to do this. This is optional use for public bodies, but we do quite a few projects for public bodies, and they follow the same process, the same code, the same review. The only review that they're not required is Treasury and BCOM for the state of Virginia. All state agencies have to have an engineering review from BCOM. Public bodies do not have to have that review. There's a process that we go through, and anybody that's interested, public body or state agency, the first thing we do is we meet with them for initial consultation, and we've had those meetings here with Wise County to get an idea for the possibility of a project. And then we explain the project and what our role is. Down there at the bottom of the slide, you'll see that we are a support agency. Our support is at no charge to a state agency or a public body, but there are two of us. There's myself, and I live here in Wise County. I'm a Division of Energy person. I'm the only one south of Richmond in the state of Virginia. So I handle a wide range of energy issues. Energy performance contracting is one of those. We provide support. So we meet, we walk through the process, we ensure that the project is done to code. If there's any issues that the customer or the ESCO has, we're there to help solve those issues, and then also provide technical expertise for energy upgrades, any type of energy issues that may arise. And again, that's at no charge to a state agency or a public body. So we have multiple projects going on throughout the state at any one time, and there's two of us. So we go throughout the state to all public bodies and state agencies to provide this support. In addition to that, we have an individual who he's a professional engineer, has project management expertise. He also provides support at some of the contractor meetings. If some agencies or localities don't have project management experience, we provide that individual at no cost to the organization. Real quickly, the process is there's a back of the envelope audit. That is at no charge. That's where the contractor goes through the facility and gets an idea for what energy opportunities there are in terms of savings. That's at no cost. That just gives the contractor an idea of the potential for a project. After that BOE, back of the envelope audit is completed, they present those findings, and then the agency or the public body makes a determination. The new code states you have to select two or more to begin to negotiate with. Everything up to this point is at no charge. The fees begin if you decide to move forward with a project. The next audit is an investment grade audit. Now that's an exhaustive audit of all facilities from top to bottom. That is a negotiated fee, and it's up to every project is different. The only thing that the code states is that it cannot be done for free, so there has to be a price associated with it. But again, it's negotiated, and every project is different. Once the IGA is completed, they will present their findings, and whoever is on the committee, the review committee, they will determine from their findings which specific implementations they want to select. So they could come back and say, hey, we found 20 things that we think can help save you money. And it's what the committee must decide is out of those 20, how many they would like to do. So you're selecting project out of that. You're not bound to their findings, you just select. And then they will also give you what the cost is and the estimated savings. And again, when they present those are guaranteed. When the contract is signed, those are guaranteed savings. And if anyone has a question at any point, just feel free to stop me here. I'm trying to go pretty quickly through this. These are the 15 pre-qualified ESCOs. So these are the ones that are qualified to do business with the state of Virginia. Now, there are a lot of other companies out there that do energy performance contracting. These are the 15 for state agencies and public bodies that we use on the contract. So we cannot go outside of these folks. They've been pre-qualified by the state. So what happens is when we get to a point of we decide, okay, we'd like to move forward, we think there's a possibility of a project here, we send out an RFP and it goes to all 15. That changed. In the old contract, you used to pick 4. The new contract states it goes to all 15, and then we get a response and we require them to let us know if they plan on coming to our kickoff meeting. And that gives us an idea of how many respondents are going to be in attendance. And then once we have that kickoff meeting, the ESCOs will show up and we'll go over the ground rules and cover the BOE audit. So that's the 15. Most of these are familiar. There's a couple smaller ones that aren't in this area. A couple of these folks have some headquarters in the Roanoke area. Most of them are up in Richmond or Northern Virginia. But they do business throughout the state. So they go all throughout the state. All right, there's other things you can do within an energy performance contract other than just energy upgrades. So lighting, if you need a new boiler, chiller, that of course is covered. But we've had folks do renewable energy, security systems, voice over internet, phones. There's a wide range of things you can do. The exception is you cannot do new construction in an energy performance contract. So it cannot be new construction, and the new legislation that was just passed, you cannot do a roof replacement. We used to be able to do roof replacements on energy performance contracts because it's part of the building envelope. Now it's limited to a certain percentage of the roof, and it needs to be tied to an energy upgrade. So if you were to put a new rooftop or unit, let's say an air handler unit on top of your building, then you could replace a portion of the roof if you needed to. Typical timeline, 6 months to 18 months for construction, depending on how large it is. And they're used to working in a variety of different settings, so schools, prisons, jails, it just depends. But depending on the size of the project, that's usually once construction starts, that's how long it will take, and there will be bi-weekly, weekly, or monthly meetings that we will attend, and that's where the customer sits down with the contractor and they just kind of go over, this is where we are in the process. If they're having any issues, that'll come up. If the customer's having any issues at that point, they would bring them up in those meetings, and we're there to help make sure that everything's done to code. And that's the project management support I mentioned earlier. Measurement and verification, this is required on all projects, and this is where you get verification that your savings are being met. This is done on an annual basis. So after the end of the year, they'll take a look and say, well, we guaranteed this much savings, that was either met or not met. And it's at that point that if there were issues that needed to be fixed, they would be done. It's required on all contracts. We use the IPMVP, which just is a national standard. There's 4 options based on the type of upgrades that you do that are selected. And then again, we review the annual reconciliation to make sure there's no inconsistencies and to make sure that everything's being done according to code. Some of our projects we've done, we have many ongoing right now, but we've done counties, universities, prisons do a lot, military institutions do a lot, museums, Department of Corrections. So it's a wide range of facilities we've done throughout the state. Just a couple of things I'll mention here. There's a lot on this side. Again, there's no cost for our support. All savings are bonded and guaranteed by the ESCOs. And again, if it's not met, then they have to rectify the situation. There is no low bid, low cost equipment. When we do a project, the customer has the ability, if they want to select specific equipment, they can do that. If they have specific contractors, subcontractors that they like to work with, they can work with the ESCO to get those subcontractors on the job. And there in bold at the top, if the ESCO misses something in the process, they cannot come back later and give you a change order. All right, there are no change orders in an energy performance contract. Once the contract is signed, if they miss something, it is them, they need to fix it. Okay, so most construction projects folks are familiar with, first you bid it out, the first thing you get hit with is a change order. That does not happen in an energy performance contract. If they find something, well, we forgot to do this, then they have to fix it at their cost, not at your cost. There are no change orders allowed. We provide, again, support, and then we have all the documentation. This is the RFP for BOE. This is what goes out to all the ESCOs when we invite them to come and be in attendance at the kickoff meeting, the very first step. This is available on the EVA website. Again, we help the organization. We have all the contact information. All we do, we provide the template. Folks just put their entity information, their organization information at the top, and this goes out, and the ESCOs have a certain amount of time to reply and let you know that they're interested. A couple case studies here. I don't know if y'all are too interested in this. This was the Western Tidewater Regional Jail. You can see we replaced their old boilers there, and we went to a new boiler, a gas boiler there. So a lot more efficient, a lot less space. A couple more here. We did the DMV in Richmond headquarters. This was a fairly large project. You can see it's $6 million. The guaranteed savings per year was $284,000 and some change. And there's some pictures there. So you can see the infrared before and after with the window replacement. The amount of energy lost through the windows is a lot less. And this was Page County Public Schools. So we, like I said, we do a lot of public schools, especially in the state of Virginia. You have some aging school systems that have some older equipment and have some needs. So we do a lot of schools. This was one that was recently completed up in Page County. You can see the overall savings and the costs there. Project cost was 7.5. The guaranteed savings was 10 million over 15 years. Typical contract life is 15 years. We're not allowed to go past that in the state. In the federal world, you can go 20 years. We do 15 years on EPC projects. And that's all I have. Again, we've discussed with Mr. Cox opportunities, but if you all have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them.
Questions?
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
I noticed that one of the vendors that you listed was Train,
Yes, sir.
and as I remember, we have had a program similar to this with Train in the past.
Yeah.
Is there a frequency that you have to meet? If you've done it within the last 10 years, you can't do
No.
it again? Is there a time frame that we need to consider, look at?
No. In fact, we do several. When we do some large projects, we'll have multiple phases. So folks will do an EPC project, and then they can, couple years down the road, implement another phase. Some folks will want to do water and lighting in the first phase, and then 2-3 years down the road, they'll tackle some of their mechanical equipment like boilers and chillers, but there is no time frame or requirement. As long as there is a project there, and when I say that, I mean as long as the savings that you can get off of upgrading your energy equipment is there to pay for the project cost, then you can do the project. And in cases where we do large projects and folks don't have maintenance reserve, or if folks have maintenance reserve on hand, if the savings don't pay for the cost, folks have the option to inject capital into the project. So whether it's maintenance reserve or there's energy leasing programs, that financing available in those cases.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it.
Any other comments?
I'm just wondering if we should look at the courthouse with something like this.
That's what we're doing.
I mean,
That's a building we discussed, the old side of the courthouse.
Yes.
Karen may want to add as well, but that we have an aging boiler. We have windows that probably need some upgrades. We have several things we've looked at, and there may be some assistance with that, and Karen may want to add to that as far as the boiler.
Well, I guess what I'm really asking is, are we going to get something like this off the ground for the courthouse?
Yes, I mean, we discussed all the county buildings.
Right, yeah.
We discussed the courthouse, Justice Center, Health Department building, Social Services building, several different locations, so to look at. And again, there's no I mean, if there's not savings there, we're not going to recommend doing it.
Exactly.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's right. And then, so pending, the board's approval, or if it's something you all decide you want to move forward with, really, we're already ready to go. The next step that happens from here is we send that RFP for BOE out, and we'll pick a date, and the ESCOs will come, and we'll get the ball rolling. That doesn't take very long. It's just picking a date to get everybody here. And then once you start that BOE audit where folks come through and do their initial audit, that takes a little bit of time because you're dealing with some companies and you have to schedule. Everyone will come through individually. So whatever facilities you select, you'll want them to come through and look. So we're ready to go. And we have several folks in the same boat. We're ready to go, just waiting to send the RFP for BOE out.
I guess my next question would be, if we did something like this, would we need to vote on this, or could it be done administratively?
There's an item on the agenda, if I may, that y'all have to authorize the RFP for the BOEs that's under new business. So y'all would have to authorize us to move forward and work with the MME.
Under new business.
I see it.
Fred, did you have a question?
Yes, very quickly. I don't want to prolong your presentation, but in your experience with this, if you move from a coal boiler to a gas-fired boiler, have you seen energy savings?
Yes, yeah,
Significant enough?
there's energy savings. We just did at our office, we had two coal-fired boilers. We took one offline, kept one for backup, and we replaced it with a propane boiler. So the energy savings is definitely there. The cost of the boilers usually are a little more expensive, so the payback is going to take longer because it's a more expensive piece of equipment, but the energy savings are definitely there.
And I say that with regard to the Appalachia High School coal-fired boiler that is on crutches, and we nurse that thing every year. And I guess I would respectfully request that we include that boiler in this project, if we can. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'll repeat my question earlier. Back to looking at the courthouse and looking at the boiler, since Train had done work for us in the past, even though this is a portion of the heating and cooling system that they didn't do previous, then that would qualify for this type program.
Yep, and if you've done something previously, it doesn't preclude it from being done again, just because the technology changes so quickly, so.
Well, the problem at the courthouse, we have some rooms are extremely hot while other people are freezing in the wintertime. So that, to get heat to some, you have to roast others, so that would be definitely a need.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yes, Madam Chairman?
Yes.
I know you said that you can't do a roof replacement.
Yes, sir.
But what if you were installing solar panels? Could you do something like that?
You can do a certain percentage of the roof, and I have to go back and see what it is in the new code. There is a certain percentage of the roof that you can do if it's considered an energy upgrade. So a percentage of it would be, if you were trying to install panels on an entire roof, we'd probably have to go to BCOM and get clarification from them to see what they say.
Any other questions? Well, thank you.
Thank you all.
And that concludes our presentation, and the next thing on the agenda is public expression. So anybody here from the public, you need to come forward and tell us your name and address.
Walter Krause, Hurricane Section of Wise County. In preparation for the 2018-19 budget, each department should initiate zero budgeting. We must eliminate duplication of activities in order to reduce costs. This is very much a problem at the state level, and particularly in Washington, D.C. They don't know how to budget at all up there. Purchase of paper and other office supplies, bathroom supplies, cleaning supplies, etc., need to be done in bulk. Purchase for the county, the schools, county schools, and the towns, and even regionally to reduce costs for all our government agencies. As chair of Keep Wise County Beautiful, I am delivering my monthly lecture on recycling. Please recycle Wise County cardboard to blue boxes, not to those big garbage cans. Numbers 1 and 2 plastic bottles, aluminum cans, and newspaper, magazines, and cereal box type cardboard to the appropriate storage areas. We've got to increase our rate of recycling. Our businesses are gone. They had been our big recyclers in the past. April 20th, I think it is, that Saturday will be the major cleanup around the county. The towns will be setting up means of cleaning up each area. This Saturday and next Saturday, we're going to go out and do our annual litter index, so clean up along your roads. Richmond needs to complete its state budget so the school board and you guys can plan your budgets. It's hard to make out a budget if you don't know what's coming down from the state or what they're going to require of you to be paying for. So we need to call our legislator and tell them get the gun, stop taking vacations and work. In preparation for the 2018-19 budget, do not use the new assessments to calculate income from property taxes. People who live in and around towns destroyed by the loss of coal and their schools will be fighting their assessments. Properties in Pound and Appalachia are basically worthless. Properties elsewhere in the county are very reduced. Everywhere you go in Wise County, Southwest Virginia, there's property for sale. And so if there's property for sale, it means the assessments are going down, better go down. We need to think about the 2020 census. Tens of thousands of illegals voted in Richmond, Northern Virginia, and Tidewater areas in the 2016 and 2017 election, and we got a 2018 election coming up very shortly. Agriculture needs to be advanced in Wise County and southwestern Virginia, particularly for growing of hemp, blueberries, apples, raising goats and sheep. Tourism will never create the employment opportunities that were lost through all the shutdown of the coal industry. We need to look at, again, a county-wide sewer system to make more areas available for development. Thank you.
Walter, just a minute. What are you all doing in our schools to encourage and educate the youth? Because I see more teenagers and even at the college, people like throwing trash in the back of trucks that will just blow out of the vehicle when they go down the road. Are you all doing anything in our schools to encourage?
The person who was doing all the school presentations retired, and we haven't been able to find somebody to take her position, do what she was doing.
Okay, I just wondered if that was happening. I didn't
No.
know. Okay.
There's recycling bins been set up on campus, so I don't know how effective that's been since I've been retired. I don't know what's actually going on there, but there are places that recycle paper and I believe bottles and cans on campus now.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else for public expression?
Good evening. Nathaniel Mullins, 7901 Crossroad Court, Pound, Virginia. We'd like to talk with you guys a little bit on what's come to brought to our attention about the sharing of the Pound High School. On behalf of Pound Youth Football, I'd like to thank the Board of Supervisors for allowing us the time to speak with you all this evening. I have a few items we'd like to discuss. Central Youth Football Program has put in a request to share a former Pound High School facility. Pound Youth Football and Cheer Program has had the lease on this facility in Pound High School consolidated with J.J. Kelly to form Central High School. We have had no problems keeping the lease until this year when our former president, Kenny Mullins, decided to take his son to play for Wise Central Youth Football Program. Pound Youth Football did not combine with Central when he decided to resign. A new board was voted upon, and the previous board decided to resign from the program. Since we did not combine, we do not understand as to why they need the facility, since it's been confirmed through one of their board members that they have access to 3 fields. These include J.J. Kelly High School, Central High School, and the practice fields at the airport. Central head football coach has said himself that they could use this field when the varsity and JV teams are not using it. We played them in 2016 at Central High School for a night game. Pound High School facility is the only field Pound Youth Football and Cheer has to have practices and host our home football games. We have practices on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. We do not have any practices on Wednesdays due to church and Fridays due to high school football games. Our games are on Saturdays starting early in the morning so we don't have to use the lights to reserve costs. We do not see how sharing the facility would be possible or beneficial for either program. We are aware that some parents who live in Pound, Virginia sign their children up to participate in Central Youth Football Program. We have no issue with this as it is more convenient for some parents to do so. They are also well aware that they are required to drive their children to Wise, Virginia whenever they need to practice for any other type of activity required, which is also done for Pound. We have players from Wise that play in Pound. It's not a sanctioned activity. We have been told multiple times we will have no problem with keeping the lease, but yet every time we call to confirm to sign the lease and to pay the leftover power bill from last year, we are told that we cannot because Wise has put in yet another request. We do not see how this is fair to our children who continue to want to play for our program. We have parents who are not financially able to get their children from Pound to Wise for practices and games for that matter. The program has already had several parents who have made plans for their children to carpool to practices and games, which already happen in Pound. We have had kids who spend the night with fellow players and cheerleaders so they can make sure to get to games on Saturdays. We consider ourselves a family, so everyone's help is needed. We do not understand why the children who reside in Pound, Virginia should have to share the field with another team from another city or town who has multiple fields they can choose from to use. The children who participate in Pound Youth Football and Cheer program should not have to schedule their practice and game times around other teams that have several places to play and practice. Our parents and volunteers and even our participants help to take care of these fields and facilities. As of last year, we had volunteers professionally clean the facility and do cosmetic work to our structures to make sure facilities are more visible, pleasing to the eye, and make sure our children are proud of the town they represent. We're here to stand up for what we think is right and what we believe in. We're here to speak for the children that participate in our program and our community that supports those children. We're here not only as board members or coaches, but as parents who are standing up for their children who work hard to keep this program strong. We believe in this. We believe in this as the Pound Youth Football and Cheer program should be the only football program affiliated in Wise County to be able to use Pound High School. We have been the only team for several decades to use this facility on this level. As long as we have been a team put on that field, then that is how it should stay with the Pound Wildcats. Any questions or comments, guys?
Any comments?
I have one quick question. Can you provide us with this information? Were there an increased number of teams at Central because of the consolidation?
Was there an increase at Central? No, I mean, that's something, because we're not affiliated with the Central Youth, we are still Pound Youth.
Well, that's what I needed to know.
Right.
Because of the consolidation, did that create a situation where there were more children participating at Central, which caused more teams and a need for more space?
No, I mean, I don't think so.
You may not be able to answer that.
Right.
That's what we're trying, that's
Right.
what I'd like to know.
We understand. I've honestly had a lot more kids sign up this year, a lot more new faces this year than what we had last year.
That's your homework assignment, to get that information to me.
To get that for you,
Okay.
I can do that.
I'm trying to get that point across.
We'll
So
try.
I'll say it
We'll
that
try.
way.
I'll try my best to get that.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You all had a change in organization, though. You're not the same organization
we-
that used it last year. Is that correct?
We tried to remain the same organization whenever they resigned, and whenever I had sent in the request to Kenny, he said that we could not just change hands because his business, Clintwood Modern Hardware, was on the tax ID for Pound Youth Football.
What's Kenny's last name?
Mullins.
Okay.
He said that we couldn't just change hands, so we had to start up a new organization. That wasn't by choice. That was, I would have preferred to just remain the same, use the same tax ID, which we've already applied, got a new tax ID, working on tax exempt. I'm trying to get a bank statement. Kenny hasn't replied to me, and it's been almost 2 days now to get that. But that's what we had proposed, and he said we couldn't do that.
Okay. Are you the same name?
We had to change names because whenever we applied for the tax ID,
You had to have a
they
new
wouldn't
name.
allow the same
Okay.
two programs.
So you're a new organization?
Yes.
That's wanting to use the field? Okay. Okay.
But that's not exactly how we wanted to go about it. We wanted to remain the same organization with that same number.
Okay. Any other question? Y'all understand the situation? Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else for public expression? No one else wants to speak, so I will close public expression at this time. Okay, the next thing is the consent agenda. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Fred made the motion, Robbie seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The next is unfinished business and old business. The appointment for the Board of Equalization is on page 15 of our package.
Can we do that by slate?
Wait just a minute. That was in the,
I think we can, Madam Chairman, because this is simply a recommendation to the judge. The judge has to do the appointments.
We just have to confirm it.
We just have to make that recommendation to the judge.
well, this,
I'll make a motion that we accept the recommendation that it's been made to us and that we recommend these people to the judge for their appointment.
Second.
should, okay. So Robbie made the motion and John Schoolcraft seconded. Should you read who we're nominating so the
Okay.
public will?
From District 1, Jared Addison. District 2, Bill Wampler. District 3, Jim Cornett. And District 4, Mark Harrison. Those are the people that I've nominated, that I have
Okay. Any discussion?
put forward.
It's an appointment, so we've appointed. Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Okay, and the next item we need to take care of, we need to end the declaration of local emergency effective February the 23rd, 2018. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Fred, who seconded?
Second.
Robbie, second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. The next is new business. We need to authorize the advertisement RFP for the energy service project that, David, you want to talk about, that we've just seen a brief introduction to?
Yes, I'm very supportive of this. This is no cost to the county unless we move forward. We'll have the option to work with the MME to look at projects that may save the county money over time. And you all have the option to accept or deny those projects. So I recommend that the board approve this.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Madam Chairman?
Yes.
David, can you elaborate on what projects we're looking at right now?
We've discussed several buildings. We discussed the courthouse, the Justice Center, Health Department building, Appalachia High School building, social services, other buildings that we have for the county. They also, and Mr. Nick may want to clarify, we can actually bring the schools in as well if the school board wants to look at school buildings as well.
Yeah, you can do that. We do oftentimes do joint projects, so the county and then the school can do a joint project. And then when it comes to savings and cost, it's under one umbrella, but their savings will be verified separately of the counties. But we do projects like that frequently.
My plan is to list out all county buildings, and we'll have them look at those buildings, and some of them will have more potential savings than others because of age, because of systems, different things.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Okay. Any other questions or concerns? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. The next is on page 16. We have some budget amendments. And some of those are housekeeping type things.
Motion to approve is presented, Madam Chair.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, John had already seconded, Bob.
Good.
So, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. The next is appointments on page 17 and 18. We only have one, and that's the Planning District 1 Behavioral Health Service Board. And do I hear and this is a nomination.
I'll nominate Bobby Castle.
I'll second.
Okay.
Motion that the nomination cease.
Okay, and Robbie and JH. And then Robbie made a motion for the nominations to cease,
Second.
and John seconded that. Okay, all in favor of that, of the ceasing the nomination, say aye.
Aye.
Then Bobby, you have been
Thank you.
nominated and picked as our person to do the,
I need a little bit of touch of that behavioral health anyway.
what now?
I need a little touch of behavioral health stuff.
Oh, okay. By acclamation, you get it, so. The next is the resolution approving Coal Road Committee transfer of coal funds. That is on page 2 to 4 of our package, that was handed, that goes back to our handout tonight, because I've got my numbers sort of mixed up here. But that's the page 2 to 4 that we have at the front of our package that was handed out tonight. Do I hear a motion?
I move that we approve this resolution, Madam Chairman.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Fred, second. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. The next is the resolution approving Coal Road Committee annual plan for roads and bridges, and that's attached page 5 through 8. And I need to have a motion for that.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
So John made the motion and Fred second. And any discussion or any explanation or discussion?
Madam Chairman, I'll just
Yes.
make one comment. Mr. Lunsford's already asked me before the meeting. But in the road stabilization, which we typically call our gravel fund, this year we appropriated more money to District 1 for 2 reasons. One, they were in a hole, and then 2, because of all the damage from the recent floods. We know that they needed more money. They probably have more of those type situations than any of the other districts. So based on that type of information, we allotted them $60,000, other districts $35,000. So just, that is a change this year, and I wanted to explain that. Thank you, Madam
Sure,
Chairman.
everybody in District 1 appreciates that.
Yeah, thank you.
It was a need.
It wasn't because we liked you guys, we just looked at the money, and we knew you were never gonna get out of that deficit.
Just need to take you on a trip through our district.
But no, we understood that, and, but thank you for for explaining that, Mr. Rivers. So, any other comments? Then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. The next is closed session under section 2.23711A6, investing in public funds, and A7, consulting with legal counsel, and A1, personnel. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Bob made the motion. Who seconded it?
Second.
What is this? Stabilization.
All in favor say, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Okay, we are in closed session, so we need to move out. Sorry, guys. I need a motion to go, to come out of closed session. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, JH, I need your, not JH, but Fred, I looked at,
Madam Chair, make a motion to approve the resolution
We need
certifying
to, don't we need to
only
certify?
public business matters lawfully
Oh, okay.
exempted from open meeting as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were discussed or heard by the Board of Supervisors.
Second.
all in favor?
No, roll
Go by
call.
roll call.
Roll call.
Mr. Lunsford,
Yes.
Mr. Castle,
Yes.
Mr. Bates.
Yes.
Mr. Atkins,
Yes.
Mr. Rivers,
Yes.
Mr. Schoolcraft,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Robbins,
Yes.
and Chairman Kilgore.
Yes. Okay, do I have any motions?
John. Why don't you?
JH.
Jay?
As we adjourn, I don't need to do it now.
Okay.
I have one.
Bobby's going to need one for the roof.
I've got a motion.
You've got a motion, somebody has a motion.
Provide the country cabin in Josephine or West Norton
$1,000 for roof repair as they've requested from whichever fund you said, transit fund or?
Did that come out of the transient fund?
Yep.
Yeah.
Second that.
You second?
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Okay. We approve the funding for the country cabin of 1,000,
Yes,
okay, for the roof repairs.
roof repair.
And I think that was our only motion coming out of closed
Yes.
session? Okay. We will say, okay, I need the,
Workshop, you need that.
we will go recess and say that,
Recess.
so we don't need to, we need to go through the administrator's reports first.
I'm currently working on the budget. I've got preliminary revenues and preliminary expenditures. I'm working on those now. I will have an update next couple of weeks. Revenues appear to be slightly down, personal property, machinery and tools in particular. So I will give more information to the board going forward, but I don't have a final draft for review as of yet. But that's all comments I have tonight.
County attorneys? Board comments, JH?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I just have one question. Mr. Cox, if you can't answer that, maybe you can get me an answer. But I noticed that there was a recent expenditure from the county, $6,000 to replace an engine. And I just wonder what type of vehicle it went in, what year the vehicle was, what the mileage was. $6,000 is pretty substantial for a vehicle. I'd like some more information, so if you don't have that, if you could get it to me, I'd appreciate it.
I was reviewing line items today. Was that the sheriff's department or the landfill?
I wasn't sure which department. It was $6,000.
I was reviewing sheriff's department today, and there was some insurance repairs in there, but the significant amount I was reviewing, but I'll find that out.
That's what got my attention. The only other comment I have, last month I made a comment that I would like to establish a couple of committees based on some information, and I would like to put that off. I ask that it not be included on this agenda for this month, but I do still feel like that those committees could be valuable to the county, and I will be bringing those up at a later date. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Mr. Schoolcraft?
Yes, thank you. I like the report from Dr. Westover at Mountain Empire, and some pretty good things going on down there. Obviously, it's good advertising when the president of the college can stand here and say, we're in the top 150. We're in the running for a $1 million award, and we're in 50 colleges being considered for that. And I think, that's some real positive things going on in the county and at Mountain Empire.
I agree.
She also said that the goal for credentialing for the community college system is to triple the number of credentials by 2020. And Mountain Empire is the only college in that system that has already accomplished that. That's pretty significant. That's a lot of work and a lot of effort from those folks down there, and certainly I speak for all of us saying we very much appreciate that and appreciate the efforts they've put into it. Mr. Krause, when he was doing public expression, a couple points that he made that I think are significant. One of them is recycling. I think we really need to get serious about recycling. We can save some money that way, and the other thing that would help us with landfill. The more recycling we do, the less material we have going in the landfill, and it would extend the life of the landfill. So I think some pretty positive things there to consider. The other thing that he mentioned that I thought was very significant was that we have the opportunity to join forces with some other counties or some other agencies to do some purchasing in bulk. We've had some conversation about that before, but I think that's a real opportunity for us to save money, not just as a board, but the whole region by doing that. So I think that's something we probably should explore a little further. The other thing, couple other things, one of them is Jackie Doherty and the group of folks that he works with. I'd like to compliment them for their work in the recent flooding, very responsive, And the citizens, too, have been very patient and very courteous in their calls and such, and I know that each one of us appreciate that kind of thing. In keeping with some of the thoughts Mr. Kraus had on bulk purchasing and such like that, I think there's opportunities for us to work together, and I say that from this perspective, that I think it would be good for this board to have some kind of a meeting with our town managers within the county and see if there are some ways that we can help each other. I think there's some benefits to be gained by that, and would suggest that we do that. Certainly, from a purchasing standpoint, it would be beneficial to do that. So I'd like to see us look at doing something like that. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Lunsford?
Would like to announce that the town of Appalachia, town of Big Stone Gap, is working together on a half marathon which will incorporate the Greenbelt and Big Stone and Appalachia's Powell River Trail. We've laid out the course. We'll go through Big Stone and come up our trail and then loop through Appalachia and go back down. So it's just a cooperative effort between the two towns that we hope to continue and to grow. And I echo the sentiments of John with regard to this purchasing endeavor. I think that would be good for all of us to look into. I know there's a lot of things that we buy that are the same, countywide and townwide, and we just need to do it. We've talked about it for a long time. We just really need to come together and see if we can't make it work. Make a plan, follow the plan. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Bobby?
I would just like to say that John had hit the nail on the head when he was talking about all the work that went into these guys, including the county administrator's office and Karen and 911 and all the work that Jackie Dorter done. They sure, it seems to me that our district was hit heavier than most, I think, and that they done an excellent job. And some people not too happy, but that's fine. But most people that couldn't get to their home or back in their homes, I'm sure, can get back to them now. And they're still working, and that's a good crew. They done a great job.
And I hope Jackie stays on for a while because he does a good job. He's busy. I mean, it's every day. I mean, he's overloaded, but he still goes after it. And he takes care of people all over the county. Goes from one end to the other. He does a great job and goes out of his way to do, and works on weekends. I mean, you know, he does a great job. And talking about what John's talking about, combining things, you know, even there's a lot of things we could combine to our county, which we need to start looking at, combining things to save costs, you know, even school system, combining counting and stuff. A lot of things we can combine with the school system. That's one way. There's a lot of things we just sit down and start thinking about things that we can combine and save money, save towns money, county money, people's money. And also, tool, I was going to ask a question here, tool and machine tax, is that due to the mining equipment?
Yes, that is continuing to decline.
That's basically is our
Yes.
big tool.
That was the big amount we had in the past, and that's declined, and that's hurt our budget.
And recycling, you know, we've tried to do a lot of recycling, but there's just two kinds of types that we can recycle right now because there's not a lot of industries that will take certain types right now.
And I think the point, regional recycling, I mean, we don't have enough volume sometimes, discussions I've had, we don't have enough volume for certain types, but regionally we might if we could ever work together with other counties and localities to recycle. There is a possibility some other types of recycling. But.
See, that's another thing. Regional, working regional too, I guess, in that. Okay, that's all.
Bob?
Just to amen Bobby's situation, speaking about Jackie and the flooding and the things that we've had, you know, and as Steve says, I hope he stays a long time. He is a remarkable person. a tremendous employee, and I can think back on my 20 years, and I don't think I've ever heard him say, I'm too busy, I can't take on that. I've never heard him turn down anything. He's one in a million. And he always gets the job done. Always gets it done. Thank you, Nina, that's all.
And Bob, you may want to add about the first, everyone, emergency services during that time. I think Jessica worked many hours, and Karen Mullins worked many hours. A lot of people was working and busy at that time.
You're exactly right, and I did fail to mention that, but we've got our in-house person. She's right at home in an emergency, and I went out and spent the night with them out there on the Saturday night, and I tell you, they enjoy it. It's I guess it's exciting. It's hard work, but it keeps them pumped up. They're tremendous when they get to going, and we do appreciate everything that those volunteers have done. So
Very good. Okay. Okay, do we have a motion to?
I got one.
Oh, I am so sorry, Robbie.
It's really
I'm
not
saving
much
you
of.
to last. Okay, I'm
It's not
sorry.
really much of a comment, other than the fact that I hope you've enjoyed your sleeping late, because come Sunday, everybody's going to get up an hour earlier. It's daylight savings time begins on Sunday, March the 11th. So just remember to set your clocks.
Okay, one other thing is we've had the Central girls, did they play tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
They left today. And East Side plays tomorrow, the boys. So both have gone to state, so that is very wonderful. And so that's something that and the East Side girls came very close, going to state, but missed it by that one game. So we hope they do very well tomorrow, definitely. And both of them play tomorrow. And I thought it was so exciting that we had the playoffs at UVA Wise, and that huge crowd in there, and for the tournaments. And it was very wonderful that we had a facility that we could use for that event and have people come into Wise County rather than us leave the county. So it was
They
very.
found out they get a lot more attendance doing this, getting local.
Oh, yes, look at.
They don't have anybody when they go up there. Now they're making a lot more money.
Oh, yeah. And
see
also.
David Pryor smiling over that.
Yes, yes, I did. I was so glad for him and the work he put in and the vision he had for that center, and to think how it was packed full for the first time for our high school kids. And it's so important for all that high school to be on that campus, because that encouraged them to go to college also, because they get a taste of that college facility and college campus.
That's what he
And
said.
it's magic.
They'll
and that's
come
what-
and say, look what a facility
Yes.
we've got here.
3 weeks up there.
Yeah, so was it 3 weekends?
Yeah.
So that was amazing, and so grateful that all happened on our campus, and we had a facility for it. So, okay, we have one more motion to recess.
Madam Chairman, I move that we recess to March the 23rd at 9 a.m. at the conference room on second floor in the courthouse for the purpose of reviewing the county administrator's job description and recruitment notice, and also to discuss the tax rate for the coming year. And we will be followed that by a workshop on the comprehensive plan.
Okay, so that's our motion to recess, and then after the recess to enter into a workshop. So do I have a second?
Second. Go ahead.
John seconded it. And any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. And we will see you all on the 23rd.